Today, we're looking at 12 of the best triathlon photographers on Instagram. But before we start, this isn't a list of, cool pro triathletes that have fantastic Instagram accounts. Like, for example, Jan Frodeno or like Javier Gomez have really nice Instagram accounts, really fantastic. They're definitely worth a follow. But the goal of this video is to make a list of photographers who shoot photos of the sport of triathlon. And let's start with Kenny Withrow. Kenny seems to be everywhere recently, but he does live in Boulder, Colorado, and he tends to work a lot with athletes that live in that town. He was also helping Sam Long's YouTube channel, so you might be familiar with him that way. But Kenny is an amazing photographer, as well as a videographer. Next on my list is Deli Carr, who is an amazing photographer. Deli shot his first triathlon in Sydney in 1988. So, yeah, he's been doing this a while and he knows what it takes to take a decent triathlon photo. Right now on his Instagram account, you can kind of scroll through it and check out some really fantastic photos from the recent Olympics in Tokyo. And next on my list is Tommy Zafiris. I'm probably killing a lot of the pronunciation of these guys' names, and I do apologize. Hopefully they'll correct me at some point. But Tommy is an absolutely fantastic ITU athlete. He tends to race a lot of Super League races, but he's also a world triathlon photographer. He tends to capture a lot of those ITU races, as you might imagine. But I will also say that Tommy's image captions tend to be really funny, so he's definitely worth a follow. Next on my list is 226 Photography, and they are a sports photography group that works with athletes and sporting brands, and they definitely tend to do a lot of triathlon content. They're based in the UK. Jack, who is the founder of that group, also has an Instagram account, which I found, and I actually found it to be very cool and just some really creative stuff on it. I'll link both of those accounts, as well as, of course, all of the accounts that I'm talking about here in the description of this video. So you can kind of just watch this video and kind of check out some stuff, and then later on, check out the description and follow the people that you want to follow. Wags Photo is another Instagram account worth following. Wagner takes, absolutely amazing photos. He's also a triathlete himself, a sub 3 hour marathoner, Ironman finisher, and I think he's qualified for the Half Ironman World Championships for 2022. His photos are really fantastic. Next, Darren Wheeler has an Instagram account that's called That Cameraman, and it's a great mix of, a lot of different sports, primarily triathletes in here, but there's also some really fantastic photos that he took from the PTO Collins Cup race last year. Definitely worth a follow. Next, Corrupt Vision is Glenn Murphy's photography company, and he seems to take a lot of really neat ocean and triathlon and landscape photos. Very cool, definitely worth checking out. The next photographer on my list is Chris Sansom. Chris has a lot of photos of the Brownlee brothers on his Instagram account right now. His photos are fantastic. He's definitely worth a follow. Alexander Polizzi is an ex-pro triathlete. He has a lot of photos from where he's from, kind of along that Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. There's a great mix of both cycling and triathlon photos in here. That'd be a good one for you guys to check out. Marcel Hilger and his wife Carla, they both have separate Instagram accounts. Of course, I'll link both of them, but they're both worth following. They're both from Germany, and they have so many good cycling and triathlon photos. I think they do a lot of stuff with Laura Philipp, who's one of the top ranked female triathletes in the country. She's probably kind of in that 3rd to 5th range based on that PTO World Triathlon rankings. Nils Nilsson does a lot of work for Roka and Triathlete magazine, and his work is just absolutely stunning. Nils also posts some really wild infrared photography, mostly landscape stuff when it comes to that, but I'll leave a link to his website where he actually sells some of that stuff if you guys want to check that out and maybe support him by buying a print. So that's a dozen photographers there, but I do have a few bonus photographers for you. Ironically, when I started this, I wanted to do, 5 photographers, and then it was 10 photographers, and then I got to a dozen photographers, and I still really couldn't whittle it down. There's just like a ridiculously large number of great triathlon photographers out there. And once I started kind of like diving into the rabbit hole, I really couldn't stop. Talbot Cox, he does mostly video stuff, so I'm not sure if he falls on this list or not, but he also takes great photos, and he's actually done a ton over the years to help promote the sport of triathlon, especially through YouTube. But he's the one that kind of helped Lionel Sanders get his channel started. You probably already know him, but if you don't, he's definitely worth a follow. Ingo Kutschy is another amazing triathlon photographer. He's another one of these guys who travels all over the world taking, beautiful triathlon photos. I think he's based out of Germany. Laurel and Rebecca Wasner are, 2 sisters who are extremely successful triathletes and have an Instagram account dedicated to food for athletes. And I absolutely love the fact that, a lot of these posts include the recipe. And I just thought it might be fun to kind of include one Instagram account dealing with food that you guys might want to follow. And then lastly, Holly Charles, who tends to take a lot of photos for the Team Charles Barclay. They're really well done. She is absolutely worth a follow as well. Okay, I know I missed some amazing photographers. Maybe drop in the comments section, just let me know who I missed. Or maybe even just check out the comment section for, kind of the collective wisdom of this community here. But hopefully there was at least some triathlon photographers here to kind of fill your feed with some more of that triathlon goodness. And if you guys liked this video, we could always do something like this in the future. Maybe talk about pro triathletes that you should follow on Instagram, or maybe some of the photographers who take photos of other sports, maybe like professional running or professional cycling. I think the professional cycling Peloton photos might be cool. But hopefully you can use some of this to feel inspired, not just to like stare at screens all day at photos, but actually to get out there, swim, bike, run, rinse, and then repeat it all over again. And hopefully we will see you guys on the next one.